I know. I know, you've already given the thumbs down on the video. I know. That's okay, because it still needs to be said. Tron is okay. Everyone, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and today we're going to talk about how Tron is fine, people. There are so many people out there bashing Tron from left, right, and center. Oh my god, we have to ban Ancient Stirrings. It's even on the list up here. No, that's not it. We need to ban Wormcoil Engine. That thing is too unfair. We gotta ban Karn. It's not expensive enough. Oh, forget all this stuff. Let's just ban Urza's Tower and get it over with. No, you do not ban any of those cards. It's all fine, and I'm going to explain why Tron has a place in the metagame. You know, so many people are attacking Tron, and Tron doesn't even defend itself. It's just sort of like off to the side. Just hoping no one's paying too much attention to them. But I never see a Tron player say, hey, come on, Karn on turn 3 is fair. 10 mana for 4 lands is fair. There's nothing wrong here. And you know what, I'm going to be a bit of a voice to them, because I actually think not only does Tron have a purposeful reason to be in Modern, but I actually think it's a good thing that Tron is in Modern. And I don't know if enough people respect the fact that we have a control deck like Tron in Modern. So a little bit of history about Tron. It's always been around. Seriously, there's a lot of decks that come and go throughout Modern's history, and Tron is like maybe the one deck that's been around, one of very few decks that has just been there consistently. You know, it may not be the best deck in the metagame, but it's never gone. It's never like it's wiped clean. Like, you know, Infect could be really high on prominence, but then all of a sudden becomes very close to 1 or 0% of the metagame. Tron always has a presence. And I want to explain a few reasons. I want to explain 2 very good reasons why I do believe Tron belongs in Modern. And the discussion is going to be first on, I do believe that there should be a control deck in Modern to the likes of Tron, and I also think that there should be a big mana deck in Modern like Tron. And we gotta come back to the discussion about there needs to be a deck for everybody in Modern. That's what makes Modern so special, so interesting, so diverse and unique. There are, for example, you take the Burn players. They have a very specific personality. Like almost every single Burn player is the exact same. The hardcore Burn players, they're impatient as shit. They cannot sit down for 2 seconds. I'm gonna go buy some fast food. Why don't you put a pizza in the oven for like 10 minutes? I don't have time for that. I'm gonna die in that time, as they like drink down a Red Bull. They have no patience at all. They are full pedal to the metal. Let's get this game done. You're not going to get the game done for me fast enough. We're going to put Eidolon of the Great Revel. We're going to put the second Eidolon of the Great Revel. Somebody's going to die in the next 2 or 3 turns. So the Burn players, they have a very specific personality that draws them to this sort of deck. I truly believe that. And I also think the same thing goes for a lot of archetypes. I think control players, they love precision. They have this draw to perfection and perhaps trying to determine their own fate. And I'm certain that the life gain decks also draw in a certain personality, and the tribal players draw in a certain personality, and the combo players that like to play out their rhythmic ritual of spells to bring their victory draw in a certain number of players. So we want to have a very diverse number of decks to attract as many different personality types into Modern. And I think Tron actually nails 2 of them pretty damn well. Let's look at Control. And there's many different variations of Control, but not all of them are really strong in prominence. You know, Grixis Control is around but not really there. Same thing with Blue Moon. It's a sort of a meta call whether Blue Moon is doing very, very well or is just a fringe player in the metagame. Same thing. Jeskai control is nothing. That's not even part of the discussion. So blue-white control definitely is a deck in Modern, but only because Jace the Mind Sculptor was unbanned. They printed Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, which debatably is better than Jace the Mind Sculptor. Teferi Time Reveler was printed. Opt was printed so that blue-white control had access to playing Terminus, especially at instant speed. So what I'm getting at is, for a control deck to compete in Modern, you need really powerful spells. Modern's a powerful format. It's like, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's 15, 16, 17 years worth of cards. Modern is super powerful to the point we were killing people on turn 2, turn 3 pretty regularly. Unregulating the format, you'd have tons of turn 1, turn 2 wins. So Modern's a very powerful format and requires powerful answers, especially if you want to be in the control game. And that's where Tron comes in. Tron is a powerful control deck. Well, some people like to think of Tron as a combo deck, but it's not. It's not assembling in an engine so that you win. It's a control deck. They don't even need Tron all the time. That's why it's so resistant to Blood Moon. A lot of people just say, well, just play Blood Moon, that's good enough. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's why Tron is mono green Tron, because all they need is one green forest, and they can get the rest of their game going. They just go land drop, land drop, land drop, land drop, land drop, Worm Coil Engine. What up? What are you gonna do about the Worm Coil Engine? Sorry, your Fatal Pushes are trash. Your Lightning Bolts are garbage. Path to Exile's still good, but you better have those Path to Exiles. So Tron is a very unique control deck and very powerful. I mean, we're very upset. Some people are very upset on Karn. Oh my god, this turn 3 Karn is unbeatable, especially on the play. That's not entirely true. Only some archetypes will lose to something like Karn. Well, I'm going to get into that later about how, I don't feel like Tron breaks the turn 3 rule or anything like that. But the point is, I think there should be a good control deck in Modern to people to gravitate to. Even Joe Lissette, who was the Blue-White Miracles master when Sensei's Divining Top was legal in Legacy, has been drawn to Tron. It is a control deck. And for a control deck to just be playable in Modern, or at least competitive in Modern, it's got to have big, powerful spells. It's got to have the heavy hitters. You need the Karns, you need the Worm Coil Engines, you need the Ugins. You need to go big. And that's what Tron does. So I believe that there's not that many big players for control. There's like billions of aggro decks. We've got, humans and affinity, and I would even consider Burn more of an aggro deck than a combo deck. And there's millions of combo decks between Dredge and Titan Shift. Not many players for control. Not that many. And I think Tron has a place in Modern for that reason. Another reason is big mana. Big mana strategies have been around for Magic since the beginning. All right, so, and there's not really that many that exist in Modern. I wouldn't even call Titan Shift a big mana strategy deck because it's, okay, you ramp into like 7-8 lands and then cast Scape Shift. It's not really that's not really like a card you're ramping into. You're just trying to enable enough lands on the battlefield to combo off. So there's not many big mana strategies. I would say Amulet Titan and Tron. So for anyone who wants to play really big, powerful spells, really expensive spells, get that Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger in play, Tron is there for them. And and big mana has been around for forever. And a lot of people say, well, you know what? They should just play a Manadoric version. There's a lot of Manadoric ramp decks. Well, they don't really exist in Modern. That stuff doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because there's too much removal. Things like Mono Green Devotion have like a lot of trouble getting off the ground because of things like that. And there are some decks with Utopia Sprawl that try to become something, but the problem is they're still playing mana dorks like Birds of Paradise and Arbor Elf, which still get killed by removal, which is why the best big mana strategies don't use any mana dorks. Titan Shift, no mana dorks, even though I don't know, it's debatable if that's a big mana strategy. Amulet Titan, no mana dorks. There are things like Azusa where you play your land drop for the turn, slam Azusa, play another land drop for the turn. They can kill the Azusa, but the damage more or less is done. You get a few more, unless you can interact with the Azusa while you put one of your lands in play. And and the same thing with Tron. I mean, Tron does not use any mana dorks. It has to use the lands in order to facilitate their big mana strategy. And I think it's fine. I think it's fine. You look at the history of Modern, Tron's never dominated. It's been around. It's got its predators. It just folds to Storm and Infect and Burn. And there's a ton of 50-50 matchups. Like against Death and Taxes or Merfolk and a variety of other decks. But fact of the matter is, it doesn't really do anything until turn 3 or 4, right? So there's a lot of decks, if they are fast enough, they'll just wipe the thing away. Now, I've heard a lot of concerns from the community. Well, Tron is holding back decks that would be played, that they win on turn 6 and 7 or turn 5+, and they would be playable if Tron didn't exist. Would they? I don't know, would they? Because the problem is Modern is so hostile and fast that if you can't just Goldfish raced Tron by turn 4, I don't know if you're going to Goldfish raced a lot of other decks. A lot of other decks are telling you, hey, you better win quickly or you're going to die. The new Urza We're Prison deck is basically going to beat you up by turn 4. If you don't have an ability to win by then, you lose. Same thing almost with Infect. I mean, you could have some creature removal for that matchup, but that's also a matchup that is putting a lot of pressure on you to kill you by turn 3. And if they play patiently, then they'll kill you by turn 4. So every single deck in Modern should have some sort of plan for turn 4. And if you don't, then you're just going to have to make that concession. You just have to make that concession. I know the Black-Green X players, they're just suffering out of their minds. I spent $2,000 on this deck. I should be able to beat anything. Why the hell is my Inquisition can't take into this damn Wormcoil engine? Why do all my removal spells suck against this Wormcoil engine? Why is it that you have 4 mana in play? You can play this 8 mana Planeswalker that I can basically not do anything to. So, there's frustration in that way, but that's why you play a big mana deck, to play around those decks that are focusing on the small mana decks. And I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it's fine. I'm pro Tron. You heard it here first. No one's defending Tron. Well, Nikachu's going to defend Tron. I'm pro Tron. I think Tron is fine. I think we should have a big mana deck in Modern. I also think we should have a control deck in Modern. Because, I mean, control is a typical archetype that's been around for forever. And I think it's nice that there is a competitive archetype like Tron in Modern. So those are my points for Tron's existence in Modern. Like it or hate it, I don't know. That's all I have to say about Tron. Tron is okay. Tron is okay. You Tron people, you be proud to be playing Tron. The haters out there, they're gonna hate. You know what? Everyone hates a deck. I hate the Mox Opal decks. Everyone can complain, but you gotta deal with it. If you don't like Tron, then go beat Tron. You go do it. And if you don't want to sacrifice the cards and strategy in order to do that, if you're going to water down your game against all other archetypes in order to beat Tron, then maybe it's just something you have to forfeit. I've been forfeiting the Affinity matchup for years, all right? There was if a Mox Opal is 10% or less of the metagame, I'm okay, I'm just going to lose to it. And that's fine. You just got to deal with it. Anyway, I think Tron is okay. For the people who want to go big, this Tron's for you. And the people who want to play control, a reliable control deck that has stood the test of time, Tron is there for you. So anyway, that's all I have to say. This has been Nikachu, Merfolk Master. signing out for Tron.